If you are working currently in eating disorder recovery, you know that there are so many things that come along with so much anxiety. So today I'm going to go through 5 tips on how to deal with anxiety in recovery. First, welcome to my channel. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Stephanie. I'm Long Island's eating disorder specialist. I post on this channel twice a week, all about eating disorders, body image issues, and general mental health. So if any of that interests you, definitely consider clicking the subscribe button down below. And while you're at it, subscribe to my email list using the link in the description. Each week, I send out a newsletter at the beginning of the week, letting you know what's to come in terms of my content. And I create worksheets to go along with many of my videos, so that will be sent out at the beginning of the week for any videos that I post that week. And while you're at it, make sure that you're subscribed to my social medias and following me there. Today, it's also a requested video. I know the last video I did was a request as well. So if you have any requests, or you feel like there's so many topics that are talked about or not talked about enough, or that you'd like further clarification, different perspective, whatever the case may be, definitely leave them in the comments down below. You can always DM me on Instagram as well and let me know if you have any ideas for topics. But today, I'm going to go through 5 different ways to help you with anxiety through recovery. My first tip is to know your triggers. This is something really, really important because we need to be able to be proactive about recovery and proactive about the anxiety that may come along in recovery. It is inevitable that through recovery, you're going to feel anxiety, but there's a lot that we could do about it. However, it takes work and it takes willingness to work at it and to do it. So like I said, the number one thing is to know your triggers. What do I mean by that? You may find that you are in a tizzy of anxiety and not really know what caused it. And a good indicator of what will cause anxiety in the future and cause trouble for you in the future is what causes anxiety for you right now. So I would really encourage you, the next time that you feel this anxiety and that you're kind of not really sure where it came from, is to backtrack your day from the point that you are feeling right now to where you felt the anxiety or notice you felt the anxiety to start with. So what I mean by that is to wherever you're at now, like you're noticing that you have a lot of anxiety. Okay, so what's happening right now in the moment? Where am I? What happened 5 minutes ago? Who was I talking to? What was going through my mind? As much as you can remember. Was it cold? Was it hot? Just basically describe exactly what is happening in the present moment, and then backtrack. Keep backtracking until you can remember about the time that your anxiety started. What was happening at that point? Were you talking to someone? Were you eating something? Was there a talk about food or a social event? What was the talk about? What was the conversations about? What were you feeling physically, mentally, emotionally? Whatever information you could gather, the more, the better, because information is power, knowledge is power, and awareness is power, and it helps us to be able to do something about it. My second tip is to use your support system. So I posted a lot of videos recently about knowing your support system and utilizing it. It's so important that we recognize that we're not alone in this. No matter who you are certainly not alone. There is support there, whether or not it's someone that you know personally, in your family, in your friend group, whatever. If not, that's okay too, because there's so much online support. There are supportive communities, there's forums, there's therapists, there are professionals that can help you and to be there for you. Don't feel like you have to go through it alone. None of us go through things alone. We are a social group of beings. Human beings are social, and it's important that you utilize that support system to the best of your ability to really help you through things. So not to say that there's nothing you can do without that support. There are plenty of things that you could do to help yourself get through something. However, sometimes it just is a little easier to get through with someone supportive by your side. So utilize that network. My third tip is to utilize your coping. Have them ready and utilize those coping skills. So what I mean by that, 2 different things, and just kind of an overview. It's very important to have a list of coping skills that you already know works for you. And if you don't have that, totally okay. What I would encourage you to do is go on Pinterest, go on Google, whatever, and just type in hobbies or coping skills or whatnot. There will be endless list for you. Pick out 5 things that sound like potentially they could be a coping skill for you. You don't know obviously yet, but write down 5 different things. So the next time that you are feeling anxiety or depressed or whatever it might be that you're feeling, that you're trying to work on not feeling, pick one of these coping skills to try. I would commit to trying at least 3 of these things each and every time that you feel anxiety. If the first thing doesn't work, try another one. And if that doesn't work, try another one. And continue doing that, but I would at least commit to 3 different ones. So of course, if the first one works, I'm not saying that you need to go to the next one, but if the first one works, what I would like for you to do is to add that to that master coping skill list. And if it doesn't work, then you're going to cross that off and then go back to the list online that you can find and come up with another one that might be an alternative coping skill for you. And ultimately at the end of this exercise, and then at the end of a few times probably that you'll feel anxiety, you're going to know and have a list of coping skills that you know work for you because it has worked for you. So therefore, you have a list ready for you. Next time you feel anxiety, you have different things to choose from that you know can help you in a moment of anxiety. The other part of it, I just did a video about creating a coping box. I would really encourage you to check it out because coping boxes could be really, really helpful for you. My 4th tip is to assess the function of the emotion that you're feeling, which in this case we're talking about anxiety, and using logic to respond to it. I also did a video about how all of our emotions are truly functional and needed and necessary. I guess that's the same word, needed and necessary, same meaning, whatever. So these emotions are absolutely necessary for us to experience and us to feel. However, it's important to recognize the level of the intensity of the emotion that you're feeling and whether or not it's actually functional, and to respond with logic if it is not. So what I mean by that is for anxiety at a level 10 really means that we have a threat to our life. Like, this is a matter of life and death. If you are feeling a level 10 anxiety about having a slice of pizza, that is just simply not functional. A piece of pizza is not going to kill you unless you're severely allergic, which I never heard of someone severely allergic to that. So maybe you get a stomach ache, whatever, that's totally off topic. So anyway, unless it's a situation of life or death, a level 10 of anxiety simply is not functional. And I would like for you to then respond to yourself with logic and going through this, yeah, a level 10 really doesn't make a lot of sense for me. I know I'm struggling with an eating disorder, but is there maybe a different level that I would say would be a more functional level for me with regards to my recovery and whatever it is that I'm doing? Is it actually a threat to me, a threat to my existence? If not, then a level 10 is simply not functional. And talk yourself through that. Which brings me to my 5th tip, which is to use your healthy self. Use your healthy self dialogue. Talk to yourself with your healthy self. And what I mean by that is, again, I did a whole video on this, and we want to try to leave all these in the cards, that you have an eating disorder part of you and a healthy part of you. And the healthy part of you is the one that wants to get better, that wants to feel better, that goes to therapy, that utilizes coping, that tries to bring logic into it. Your eating disorder is a part of you that keeps you sick and uses a lot of illogical statements. So what I really would love for you to do is to engage your healthy self and use that dialogue to respond to yourself. When you are having anxiety, for instance, that slice of pizza is causing you extreme dysfunctional anxiety, use that logic and respond, okay, this is not going to kill me. And again, that goes back to the 4th one. It's not functional, that emotion, the intensity of the emotion, and to respond to it and bring yourself down, talk yourself down from that anxiety using logic. The pizza is not going to do the things that your eating disorder is trying to convince you of it. It's literally an inanimate object, something that is a food item that is meant to just be enjoyed and nourish you, and that's that. So utilize that healthy self is going to be really, really important. Now, I do have a bonus tip, which is breathe. Breathing is so obviously important, but it's very helpful in terms of anxiety. Because a lot of times when we have anxiety, our heart goes faster and we're just out of breath, we have shortness of breath, we have more shallow breathing. So it's really important to try to bring us back into our breath. Take a nice deep breath. Check out my video about different breathing techniques that could be really helpful for you. There's so many. Look it up. Look online for different breathing techniques. If you know of one, definitely leave a comment down below so I can look into it and possibly suggest it to people as well. There are so many great techniques out there, and it really could be helpful in terms of anxiety. I hope that you found this video helpful. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment down below if you have any other tips that could be helpful for anxiety in terms of eating disorder recovery or anxiety in general. If you would like to subscribe to my channel, you could do so by clicking my face over here. And I wish you less anxiety on your journey to finding your state of balance, and I will see you in my next video.